Very good coffee. Yeah. Raise your hand if you love coffee. Yeah. My hand's raised.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Why, when he says sit-down comedy, do you get like a punch sound? Like somebody's getting punched to sit down? Sit down. Ooh. Sit down. I don't know. Fans are not as loud as they were yesterday. Or is it just I'm deafer than I was yesterday? Probably. A little both. Yeah. Coffee, and a little more coffee. Oh, I thought the band was going to be done there. Now they're done. Good morning, folks. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Hope you're having a wonderful day in California. I hope you're drying out a little bit. I think the rain has stopped there. Now it's time to soak it up, dry out. The LA River is flowing like crazy. There's a lot to talk about here today. There's some things I don't want to talk about, but I'm going to have to, at least in passing here. A lot of people have already reached out to me thinking about you today. Today is a very sad anniversary for me. But you know what? I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about hanging out with my friend John Rulo later at 10:15 today, who's going to be on the show, until people started telling me out there thinking about me today. So I appreciate the thoughts. I really do. I love my friends, but trying to avoid sad memories. Anyway, Toby Keith passed away. He let the old man in. Now, I'm thinking he knew he was dying. He's a young man, by the way. Don't let the old man in. I don't think, how old was he, Toby Keith? I don't think he was 60. I think he's probably in his mid-50s. I'm just trying to see here. How old was he? Born in 61, so he was over 60. He was 62, right? 62. He was getting ready to turn 63. Yeah, so not that young. But he had just come out with a song not too long ago called Don't Let the Old Man In. I think he knew he was dying. I don't know what he died of. Toby Keith, best known for Put a Boot in Your Ass or something. Patriotic songs from a guy who never served in the military. Military patriotic songs from a guy who never served in the military is a little weird for me. It's a little, I don't know, wolf in sheep's clothing or sheep in wolf's clothing or something like that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, he apparently had stomach cancer. I'm just looking at the headline right now. Anyway, rest in peace, Toby Keith. If you're a Toby Keith fan, I'm sure you know what? His career, I think, had been over for a while, except for that song he just came out with. And again, I think he knew he was dying, and that was the purpose behind the song. But maybe I'm crossing a line into ugliness here that I should probably try to avoid, exposing myself for the cold-hearted, mean son of a bitch that I am. Yesterday, did not get a lot of hate mail. Got a lot of love mail. Well, not love mail, but people agreeing with me. I got, for the most part, on the Second Amendment thing. Even gun enthusiasts were agreeing with me that the Second Amendment needs a complete rewrite, that it makes no sense. And it doesn't really address guns. It addresses arms, and arms means something completely different in today's world. So I got a lot of that, but I did get one guy. I can't remember his name now. Frank something. He was in Arkansas. Not that that makes a difference, does it? Maybe. He says he thinks he should have the right to have nuclear weapons. Which, yeah, it's fine for you to say, I think I should have the right for nuclear weapons. But what about the people you don't like? People who are you deem as your enemy, people who are on the other side of the political fence that you're on. Do you want them to have nuclear weapons? You want your enemies, because there are internal enemies. We have to acknowledge that we have internal enemies. Do you want them to have nuclear weapons? That's the real question. Now, do you want you to have the right to have it? Yeah, everybody. I think I should have the right to have everything. Everything should be mine. Anyway, but overwhelmingly supportive of the idea that, yeah, the fucking thing makes no sense whatsoever in today's world. I did get a couple of people angry about not the cross-dressing songs, but the fact that I called the founding fathers. I didn't call them cross-dressers. I said they were men in makeup and high heels and wigs, and that's true. And I'm not putting people down who are into that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. The thing was that was the cultural thing of the day, and that's why I brought it up, because it's not really relevant. Listen, if you think the government is currently run by old Englishmen in makeup and high heels and wigs, you're not like paying attention. Take a look around. I mean, they might be. Lindsey Graham probably does it on the side, but he's not showing up to the Senate every day with white makeup all over his face and high heeled shoes and a wig. It's just a different cultural time. And that's the point I was making. I'm not trying to put down people who were, I don't know, like to dress differently than cultural norms. Not Norm MacDonald, Norm the border bill, people are talking about the border bill. It's online and it's available for you to read. So you don't have to take other people's word for it. You could read the bill yourself. Here's the address right here. It's kind of a long address, but I'll put it in the description after the show. But you can read it right there. I'll leave it up there for a minute if you want to look at it and see, or copy it down, or just take a screenshot of it so you can go there later. Listen, why? And I'm not talking to Republicans. I'm not talking to Democrats. I'm talking to anybody. Why would you take the word of your cable TV news or your social media feed about what the bill says when you could read it for yourself and know for sure? Because you're lazy. It's a long bill. And some of it you might have to slow down because it's in, typical legalese. And there's some pork in there. There's some pork. So it's not an easy read. It's not a fun read. But you have two choices here. You can just take the word of people who want to yank your dick, or you could find out for yourself. And if you want to keep complaining about and just be a cheerleader in the world of politics, you certainly can do that by not reading the bill and just listen to your favorite talking head on TV, or just go to whoever you follow on social media and take their word for it. Or you could find out for yourself. What is the line from Tommy Boy about sticking your head up a cow's ass or something? I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. I think you'd rather take the butcher's word for it in this case, because, listen, that bill is like sticking your head up a cow's ass. It's a lot of stinky work. There's some brutality involved in it. Anyway, want to get the men in here, but before I get the men in here, there's still some bullshit I want to throw at you. It's going on in the world. RFQ, known to most people as RFK Jr., is whining about Secret Service protection. And listen, I say whining. He's begging for Secret Service protection. Nikki Haley has asked for Secret Service protection, and that is bothering RFQ because he's been asking for it for months. I understand that. Listen, his name is Kennedy. He's running for president. He wants to be protected. But here's my take on that. The Secret Service was in charge of protecting his Uncle John. Didn't do so good. The Secret Service was in charge of protecting his father, Robert Sr. Didn't do so good. The Secret Service was in charge of protecting Gerald Ford, who was shot at twice and only lived because the people were bad shots and missed him. But if they were good shots, Ford would have died in office. Ronald Reagan was protected by the Secret Service and was only saved because of good doctors and good luck on his part. Secret Service, their track record in my lifetime, not so good. So, yeah, you could sit there whining, I should have protection. But if you're a Kennedy, you can absolutely hire a better security team than the Secret Service. So there's that. Just putting that out there. It's kind of comical that he's, complaining, I need Secret Service protection. Ask your father how that goes. Ask your Uncle John. Oh, you can't. That's right, because the Secret Service fucking blew it. Or might have been involved in some conspiratorial circles. Anyway, there's that. Lastly, there's even more than that stuff now. A lot to talk about here today. And I hope the gentleman will have some comments on some of the things I'm talking about. Yesterday, a porn star, Lisa Ann, brunette woman with huge knockers, there was a video of her circulating, getting dragged out of a Matt Rife show, I think at Radio City Music Hall. Some big place in New York City. I think it was Radio City Music Hall. Apparently getting arrested for having a cell phone at a comedy show. Now, it's okay for a club to throw somebody out, but get arrested for having a cell phone. It's very odd. It's not against the law. There's no law that says you can't have a cell phone. There's a policy. But she, so there was video of her and NYPD dragging her out, and she's saying, I did nothing wrong. And people are suspect of that. So she went on Twitter and posted a picture from, I don't know how she got this picture. It was like a security camera or something of her not having a cell phone out, but the person next to her having a cell phone out, taping the show. So it seems to support her claim that she did nothing wrong. But in any case, Matt Rife having people arrested, and that's, where does he get the power to have people arrested? I could see him throwing, if there's a policy and you can't have your cell phone out at a comedy show and somebody takes their cell phone out, you either ask them to put it away, or in some cases you can have them escorted out, but not by the NYPD in cuffs. People are, porn stars don't get the fair shake. As far as public opinion, people are saying she's just doing this for attention. She's making the stuff up. She's lying. The evidence that she's presented so far seems to bolster her case, or at least back her a case up. Last thing before I bring the gentleman in, there's still two more things. But the poster and ad, not happy with them. Gone back for another revision on the poster. The ad, I think I could do myself, the video ad, and do a better job of it, because there's no voiceover or anything. It's just music. It's a 30-second spot, and it's not really that impressive. I can't see it being worth the money. So I'm contesting all this stuff. But I had a thought on this poster. The poster might not be worth the money, but it's certainly good enough for you, my friends, to help us out. There's probably no way out of this deal, contractually wise. I'm going to have to go through with that. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, when the poster is finalized, to download it, print it out, go to your supermarket and put it on the bulletin board there. Every supermarket. Or if you're working a small business, bring it in, put it on the counter or on the window or something like that. Make sure it's visible to your customers around the country, around the world, wherever you are. It's pretty. I'll make it downloadable, and you can just download it and print it out if you have a printer yourself, or just go to Staples or Office Max, or I don't hate to. They're not sponsored, but maybe they should be. And just print it out and put it wherever you possibly can. Let's get a grassroots movement of letting people know about the program. I'd appreciate that. The last thing, I promise, is the last thing. And then I'll bring the guys in. Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs. I did not see the Grammys. There is a clip going around of them performing Fast Car. Very, very good stuff. People are talking about being a bridge gap type moment because they come from different worlds. And the thing that the only comment I have on it, it's a good song. It's really hard. You know what? It's a tricky song to play and sing, and both of them do it well. And Luke Combs is doing it in the same key, the original key that she did it in. That's nice. But there's a picture of Tracy Chapman holding what looks like a baby Taylor that looks like my baby Taylor, and I'm really impressed with the guitar more than anything. But she's got my guitar, and she's got G.D. Fenderson's hair. Absolutely. Now take a good look at the photos of Tracy Chapman. She is trying to look like G.D. Fenderson. She has gone out of her way to adopt the G.D. Fenderson look. But she's playing my guitar. Because G.D. Fenderson refuses to play an acoustic guitar, and a baby Taylor would look good on him. He'd look just like Tracy Chapman. Or, you know what, with the side boob, possibly. Speaking of his side boob, let's say good morning to G.D. Side boob.
Do I have sound?
Yes, you have sound.
You do.
All right, in that case.
Sing Fast Car for me.
Hell no. If your Tuesday nights are empty like this mug, come to the Doghouse Open Mic at the West York Inn in West York, PA. And then tune in to Lord and his lady.
I was going to say stay home and watch Lord and his lady, but okay. You
and then tune in to Lord and his lady. Yes, you can have me in the front end and Willie in the back. An Eiffel Tower of entertainment.
Holy shit. That's some writing.
I love it.
That's quite a mouthful you said there.
That's why it's an Eiffel Tower.
That's why you're in the front. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to take this bill down now, but people, I just want to remind people, you can read the bill for yourself rather than taking people's word for it. And if you want to take people's word for it, then you're stuck with whatever steak you get. Or you could join me in sticking your head up the butcher's ass, which I did this morning. And it was a lovely view. There it is. I'll put it in the description later. You guys got any comments on any of the nonsense I was talking about? First,
you stepped on my promo for my thing for York, PA, but you let Willie's go through. You didn't step on. That's racist.
Well,
this is February.
No, I did it. I absolutely did it in the spirit of White Supremacist Month, which we are right in the middle of right now.
That's March.
Oh, okay. No, anyway, listen, your doghouse thing has been going on since the 70s. And it's been promoted, and we will continue to promote it. But Willie's trying to get off the ground here. He's like the Wright brothers trying to take his first flight, get some momentum behind it. And I just feel like there's a little bit of a priority to help him get airbound.
First of all, both of those statements are, well, the second statement is true. He's trying to get his Willie off the ground.
Airbound?
I understand that.
Is airbound the word? I don't know.
But I've only been like guest hosting the West York, PA open mic starting tonight.
79.
I get the whole month.
79.
I get the guest host. I get
February
the guest host
of 79.
In February of this year.
79.
And that's I don't know. It just seems so unfair. I'm making my debut as the guest host in February, and you're just like poo-pooing on it.
Mea culpa. I am sorry. It will never happen again. We will actually promo it 4 or 5 more times during the show today to make it up for you. So
I don't know. I don't. I think it hurts so much now. I don't know. It's like
So 6? How many
it's-
fucking times do I need to do it to make up for this terrible mistake?
according to psychologists, if you say one bad thing, you need to make it up by saying 10 positive things.
All
I
right,
could
so
be
10.
wrong,
Okay,
but-
10. 10 is fine. All right, here's one. Go to see GD at the Doghouse tonight. That's one. Well, I'll say it again 9 more times during the show. Okay?
All right.
What's the address?
Now it sounds like white guilt. Now it doesn't even sound.
Well, it is white guilt. It is, absolutely.
Never
Well,
happy, GD.
it's more like
No,
olive.
I won't be happy. I want reparations.
It's
I
more like
want
olive
nothing.
guilt. It's olive
Oh,
guilt.
olive guilt.
But
Virgin
okay,
olive guilt.
what's the address of it? Come on, the address of Doghouse? Right here.
Just the West York Inn in West York, Pennsylvania.
Okay, all right.
The corner of Highland and Market Street.
If we get, all right.
If you're interested, I do have a couple pieces of news. One of them you covered with Toby Keith passing away. But
Yeah.
I do have some news if you'd like it.
He let the old man in.
Well, he let the stomach cancer in, is what he did. And if he would have smoked some more weed with Willie, he probably would have been all right. But
That's a good point. Now, do you need an official news introduction, or you just want to talk? You just
I mean,
wanna
we
talk
could just
about
do it. That's okay. We don't have to do the thing. It's
No,
okay.
if we're gonna do it, if you're gonna do news, it needs an official news introduction.
Okay, okay, all right.
If you're doing gossip, you get the gossip introduction.
I wasn't prepared for this. Oh, here it is, news.
Do gossip.
We'll stick a boot in your ass. I think a boot in your ass, right?
And here's the news.
That theme song is quite as loud as the rest of us talking.
Countries.
Why
are we talking? Why are we talking after the news thing? All right. American soldier country singer Toby. That was the song, by the way, American Soldier. Toby Keith passed away in his home, surrounded by family. The 62-year-old had been battling stomach cancer, and as I said, I think he should have smoked more weed with Willie again. A New York man is suing McDonald's for putting cheese on his Big Mac. 28-year-old Charles Olson had to be rushed to the hospital after a visit in February of 2021, according to court documents filed on Friday. Mr. Olson does have a receipt showing that he checked the no cheese option. However, I would like to let McDonald's know that I am on their side. As a longtime McDonald's customer, I would happily testify in court that you got to be a giant idiot to not know to check your order.
Also,
Oklahoma. What was that?
There's an also there.
Yeah.
The Big Mac, two all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese.
Cheese, yes.
Sesame seed
He did order it with no cheese, but still.
And I don't even know if it's American cheese. It's not even cheese. It's cheese food.
Right.
So if he checked no cheese, he didn't get cheese. He got cheese food.
Cheese with fire. You can't.
Yeah, anyway. He got cheese food. He didn't get cheese.
We have more news.
McDonald's on this.
We have more news.
Right. Also, Oklahoma lawmakers are trying to block government agencies from celebrating Pride Month. Honestly, I don't think anyone living in Oklahoma should feel pride about anything. And that's the news.
Well, Toby Keith was from Oklahoma. They have pride in the
Case
Toby.
in point.
Today is National Toby Keith Day. We'll put a boot in your ass. I always thought he was saying bullet in your ass in that song.
No, yeah, boot in your
ass.
Like
that's like Denzel Washington in that Training Day. You shot me in the ass.
Yeah,
I don't know any Toby Keith songs, at least not on purpose. I probably have been tricked into listening to
my
him
favorite
on
one is "How Do You Like
or...
Me Now."
How do you like me now? Yeah, man. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Okay, I do know that song. I didn't know that was Toby Keith, but then again, like I said, I've been tricked into listening to his music.
And then of course,
I love this bar.
Weed with Willie again.
I don't think I know that.
You don't know? I love this bar. And what was the one that was his first hit? It was.
Oh, should have been a cowboy. Should have been a cowboy.
No, before that, it was like a rap song. Toby Keith's first hit was like a slow rap, slow cowboy rap.
I thought his first hit should have been a cowboy.
Well, I think that was a little later. No, it could have been. You could be right about that, but this was one of his first hits anyway. But it was like a getting some. No.
Oh, that's okay. I have to research it anyway for Critical Joke Theory on Thursday when I write it. So I'll learn more about him on Thursday than I really care to.
Why is that part of like?
Oh yeah, he had Red Solo Cup too.
Is that part of like the? Yeah, Red Solo Cup. I love this bar. How do you like?
Oh yeah,
it?
Who's that man? God, that's a good song.
Is that part of like the big political critical joke theory? It's usually all about politics, right? So
no, it's basically headlines and headlines. So I think Toby Keith dying, it would be like a headline.
And gotta get you some.
And I start off the critical joke theory.
Talking a lot more action.
No. I start off critical joke theory covering the deaths that happened that week.
We're talking over you. We're not even listening to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm used to that.
Ooh, gotta get you some. Gotta get you some. Gotta get you some love. That was a rap song that Toby Keith had out. I don't even see that listed in here.
That's okay. They probably didn't have Crack the Sky, She's a Dancer listed either. You can't trust these lists anymore.
Gotta get you some.
Can't trust them. Who's in charge of making the list?
Google.
Surely not Schindler.
It's Google.
Okay, yeah. See, if it was Schindler's List, he'd probably have it on there because he has a pretty comprehensive list.
Yeah.
Or was that a list?
I don't know.
His first
had a list also.
Should have been a cowboy.
All right. Okay. Now, do you want to? Either one of you guys want to give me some shit about my RFQ comments? The Secret Service.
I think you're totally right. He should totally.
I don't think we should waste the money protecting him. No, he anti-vaxxer, but he wants a Secret Service, but he doesn't want a vaccine.
Well, whether he deserves it or not, it wasn't my point. But okay, you can make that point, but that wasn't the point that I was just arguing that the Secret Service is not very good at doing at protecting the president.
You know what it is? It's like any other team. Okay, the best members on the team are going to get the profile job. They're going to get the starting job, which is the president. Okay, so your best players are getting the starting job to protect the president, regardless of how bad they may be. Those are your best players. So anyone after that is like lower tier. So then like your next tier is probably protecting Kamala, okay? And then your third tier is probably protecting, maybe Speaker of the House, something like that. But then you get down to like the fifth and sixth tier, which are the ones that are protecting, candidates and stuff like that, which are basically like your newbies. They just started up. They're not really going to take a bullet. They just like the prestige. You're just like getting laid. Saying, hey, I'm Secret Service girl. Check this out. See my gun? Take a bullet. Fuck no. That's no. I'm Secret Service. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret.
Should have been a cowboy with 93. I think that Get You Some was before that. I really do. I think it was like 90. And it's not even listed here in his songs. It's like
I think it was the same album.
I am not doing a Mandela effect here. There is definitely a song, but it's not listed in his discography. I can't say the word. Discography.
Discography.
Yeah, discography. It's not listed.
That was a song. Discography. Yeah. Graphy duck.
All right. Let's move on from Toby Keith. How about the Lisa Ann Matt Rife thing? Are you guys? Did you know about it? Do you have anything to say?
I read up on that this morning as well. I don't know why I didn't include that in my stories, but she was arrested for being a disturbance because she didn't, like when they came to kick her out, she didn't want to leave. And then she was being a disturbance. Apparently she kicked a couple of the officers, you know what I mean? So it wasn't the phone thing that got her arrested. It's that she wouldn't leave, and then the cops got called.
Why are they asking her to leave if she didn't have the phone? I would be pissed off too if I didn't have a phone.
Well, no. I mean, there's definitely credence to that. If it wasn't her and it was a person next to her, I'd be like, "Fuck you! It wasn't me. I'm not fucking leaving."
See?
Yeah, So and I guess she knows Matt personally. which was another. That's what she said in.
Well, that's a strike against her. That's why she should be arrested. Just knowing him personally should get her arrested.
Well, Willie's bringing up a kind of important point here. Now, we don't, because if she was making a disturbance, yes. But you're both making good points here. If I did not have a phone out and they told me you got to get out for having your phone out, I would make a bit of a disturbance too. Like, it wasn't me, it was her. But stills don't tell the whole picture. She's got a picture of her sitting there without her phone out and the person next to her with their phone out. Still, you don't know that she didn't take her phone out 2 minutes later or 2 seconds later or whatever. But this whole idea of we can't take her word for what happened because she is what she is.
Well, that's terrible. I mean, I don't think that has credence at all.
What is she?
She's a porn star.
Matt said she is what she is. So what is she?
A porn just because you're a porn star doesn't make
she lies. She lies to the general public about wanting cum on her face for a living.
That's not a lie. It's a script.
I don't know if it's in the script. I don't know. But that's the fact that this is what she does. We established this last week with Dr. Leanna Wolf that women don't like men coming on their face, but they all say.
Yeah, I mean that's still debatable. I'm sure that
Some
I'm sure
of them do.
In a general sense, women don't like it, but there's some women out there that do indeed like it.
Christina said, as long as I don't get it in her eyes, she's okay with it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure in hindsight that if my mother knew that there was a choice between having 4 kids or having a little bit on her chest, which was like a double G, which means she had never seen it coming anyway. It would be like
it's a little chilly in here today.
Yeah, I think she would have gone with the bad aim.
Yeah. Well, then she should have been shooting at Gerald Ford. Now, I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here. But so, was she arrested? Were there actual charges filed? We don't know. We didn't see any of the police report on that. It could have been all just like a publicity stunt. But does she need publicity?
You mean publicity like the other comedian show who pretended that there was some kind of issue and he rushed everybody out and he rushed them off stage?
You mean Mark Norman?
Like performance art? You mean like this could be like performance art? No.
Well, that's what it could be. I mean, you never. Anytime I'm suspect about publicity stunts, anytime I see anything like this now, it's been going on so long that anytime you see somebody in the news, something, you got to think back, well, are they behind this, or are there people behind this trying to manufacture some outrage to get their name in the news? But porn stars don't generally need that kind of attention, do they?
No.
I didn't know who she was before you mentioned it.
All on their own.
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was before you mentioned it, and I didn't even know who Matt Rife was until I started taking part of the show.
I don't know. I still don't know who she is, even though I've seen pictures of her, I've seen video of her. But the point is, porn stars, their fans know, they have like a built-in audience. Yeah, and they have a built-in audience. It's not. I don't think anybody really fucking cares about who they are in real life. They're buying the liar who's saying, "I want you to come on my face." By the way, please don't clip that bit of me saying, "I want you to come out my face," and use that.
Well, I already hit the B, so AI is going to look for it.
That's terrible. Yeah. Tracy.
But at least if they record it, they got you saying, "Don't come on my face." Okay, you're not asking unless they delete the "don't."
I think I said please. I don't know. I don't know what. I have to rewind the tape and see what I actually said about coming on my face. Anyway,
but see now that is going on because you just said that.
Because I want to see what I said about coming on my face.
Yes. See, then you said it again.
I know I said it again. But
I think we should all say, "Come on my face."
No,
I think.
Yeah, no, come on. I will say where the white women are.
Be a team player.
No, I will say where the white women at. But that's as close as you're going to get me to saying anything like that.
How about
that? Please come on my face.
No.
Where's the white stuff at?
Nope.
Yeah, where's the white stuff at? Yeah, let's get to say.
I don't do cocaine. Sorry, I don't do cocaine. Never tried it. I had friends try to give it to me. I've had plenty of opportunities, and then they realized the effect that cocaine might have on my personality and decided to never ask me again.
Okay.
That reminds me. Years ago, we could talk about this joke because it's okay to steal from sex offenders. Bill Cosby had a joke years ago that said, he was talking to somebody that did cocaine. He's like, well, why do you do that? And he said, because it intensifies your personality. Well, what if you're an asshole?
Yes, and that was the reference I made to my friends. I did actually borrow. Actually, I didn't say those lines. I just said, I asked them, why do you want me to do cocaine? And they said because it intensifies your personality. I said, do you really want me more intense?
I don't know that that's really true, that it intensifies your personality. It definitely bugs your eyes out. It makes you loud. But I don't think I think it changes your personality because I don't know. I don't know what I know. It's been so long that I don't really remember who I was.
I mean, yeah, it's been a long time.
I don't think you can use a bump to refresh your memory. I don't think you can use a bump to refresh your memory.
Ian says this is the year of dumb publicity stunts. I would argue that this is the century or
the century of it, yeah.
Yeah, or more than
2000s.
Even before that, I mean, there was also
World Star 2, World Star 3.
I'm tired of looking at Toby Keith on my phone.
Any comments about the Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs stuff? Tracy Chapman looking like you.
I don't think her hair looks anything like mine, except for the fact that it's gray.
No, she's got the braids and stuff.
And I am not opposed to using my acoustic guitar. I just won't use it for live performances.
I thought you didn't have one anymore. Didn't you say you didn't have one?
No, I have two of them. Well, I have one acoustic steel string and I have one classical. And my classical should be a classic, literally, because it's, at one point, Yamaha used to make their classical guitars by hand. And then he switched over to being machine made. My guitar is one of the last 20 that they made by hand. And after that batch, they started making them by machine.
We'll send a GoFundMe. We'll start a GoFundMe to have people care.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but the reason why I use the one electric guitar on stage is because that's the only one that I have that has locking pegs, so that if you hit the neck by accident and you turn the peg, it doesn't change the tuning. Everything else I have, if you touch my pegs, the guitar gets untuned.
Don't fucking touch my peg, dude. Don't touch my fucking peg. Get off my peg.
That's what I'm talking about. And so that guitar there, Karen, her name is Karen. She's the only one that has the locking nuts.
Bridge. Now, she's a white woman. Does she have a is she a whiny bitch?
Does she have a bob haircut?
No, all of my guitars have names.
But Karen.
That's Susan, that's Karen, that's Maya.
Karen doesn't want you swimming in her pool.
Yeah.
Or at the
Karen's
hotel
not
pool.
named after that Karen.
Oh. I just want to read you guys this. If you don't want to comment on it, that's fine too. But
try to stop Willie from commenting. Go ahead, try and stop him.
The Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs performance mattered because it was a connection across supposed divides, but it also mattered because Combs embodied unbridled joy, admiration, and respect for Chapman, something we see far too rarely in these sorts of bridges celebrated. What do you think about that?
I don't know who Luke Combs is.
Country guy.
People obviously didn't see the CMAs where Jelly Roll sang with Winona Judd, for fuck's sakes. I mean, like,
they're both white though, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what people are getting at here. The racial.
There's not a real cultural bridge.
Okay, there. I thought you just meant the old to new for country.
Well, maybe that's what they meant. Listen, maybe I'm reading the racial stuff into that because we all know I'm a racist. By the way, go see GD at the Doghouse tonight or wherever that Pennsylvania. It's somewhere in Pennsylvania. I got 8 more to go.
I'm keeping track.
To get out of race jail. To get out of race jail.
I'm gonna put down a ticker so we know.
8 more to go to get out of race jail. and I don't remember the address or anything. But while you're there, you can watch Lord and Lady and not even pay attention to GD on the stage. So that's
God, no, don't do that. Don't go to GD's show
and I will get you arrested. I will get you arrested faster than a porn star watching Matt Rife. Okay?
Yeah. Oh okay. So I just because that I don't know they making too much of this stuff because you know what? First of all, if that was no, she had one other hit, right? Give me one reason to stay here or something. Tracy Chapman
wouldn't know.
Give me one reason to stay here.
Well, that was Tracy Chapman. I didn't know.
Yeah. But I think that was it. So then she kind of went away until Luke Combs did this cover of Fast Car, which was a hit on the country charts. And you know what? Props to him for being able to play that and sing it. It is a pretty tricky, because it's out of sync. Your hands and your voice are out of sync. It's kind of tricky to play, but to do it in her key and do it just like she did, good for him. I mean, but I don't know if it crosses any mends any bridges or whatever the fuck they're trying to say about this thing. I think it was just guy liked the song and did it, and she of course supported it because she gets royalties every time it was a hit again, so she got rich again.
And it keeps her relevant.
Right
now, when she can do the tour with the other 900 musicians that have like 2 hit songs.
So the question, if you had a hit song, well, just imagine you had a hit song, you wrote a hit song,
right,
and somebody who was like totally antithetical to you, somebody you don't like at all, somebody for whether it's for religious or political or whatever, just reasons you don't like them, has a wants to do it and cover it, would you do it for the money?
No, not for the money.
You would say no, you can't cover my song because I don't like you.
Only because of the money, yes. It depends on their motive. I mean, I don't care how people feel about me or how I feel about them. But if I created something that I'm proud of, and let's say they go, you know, GD, I don't like you. I think you're stupid. I think you're a horrible musician. I don't think you're funny. And I hate your hair, of course, which I would probably shoot them, but that's beside the point. I hate your hair. But I am doing something to benefit homeless women and children
they don't say it's about the money, but they just say, David Duke calls you up and says he wants to cover one of your songs and doesn't tell you any reason why he wants to do it.
No, then they'd be looking for David Duke's body. How dare him show up on my property? They'd be like, David Duke came to see you. I'm like, me?
Hold on.
Me?
I just want to say to all the networks out there, jokes about people being murdered or
I didn't say murdered.
Whatever.
I didn't say murdered.
They are jokes and not intentional. They're not to be taken seriously.
But I didn't say murdered. I just said disappeared. Okay. Yeah. I have a lot of woods behind me. I just give them a gentle shove. I just push them out that way and let the animals do their work.
That's fine. I wasn't suggesting that you were joking about murdering David Duke. I was saying if in case somebody ever does make a joke about supposed murder here, it is a joke.
Right. Right. That's true. I would not, quote, murder him. He may have an accident in my woods with an axe and maybe involving a slingshot or a sword or a spear. You know, probably the same spear that I was holding when he called me a spear chucker. That, I'm just saying.
Now, do you remember the first MASH, the first episode?
Spear Chucker Jones, the movie Spear Chucker Jones.
Yeah, Spear Chucker Jones.
Fred Williams. I think it was played by Fred Williamson.
I think the very first episodes of MASH, when it was on CBS, had character Spear Chucker Jones, and then they did. Somebody got a little upset about it, and then it was gone. That's just it's just a bizarre that would even pass mustard then. I mean, it's just weird.
Well, the fact that they called him Spear Chucker is because he threw javelin in college.
I know.
See, sometimes people just forget their history, and only that. But Spear Chucker Jones was not even a real person. The people have got to lighten up.
Yeah, you lighten up.
Why so serious?
Yeah. What else? The Go-Go's are getting back together. Are you excited?
I will be. Depends on what they do.
Were you a big Go-Go fan?
I appreciate what they did. I really do. I appreciate what they did, and
they had the beat.
They had the beat, and they did it while on vacation. Right. So, Jane Whelan did a lot of good work. She's the date. Well, actually, I almost got let's put it this way. When they were touring, and I found out that they like to hook up on the road, I was volunteering my services every time they were in the neighborhood.
Wow. People thought Belinda Carlisle was kind of a hottie. I don't know. She was chubby when they first started out. Then she lost weight, and Ooh, Heaven Is the Place on Earth after the Go-Go.
I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with chubby girls. There are chubby girls that are hot. There totally are.
Fine, if that's what you like. I'm just saying that people thought she was kind of a hottie. To me, she was a little chubby. But that Jane, whatever her name, Jane Whelan.
Whelan, yeah.
She kind of had some it girl stuff going on there for a while in her solo career. And I don't remember her hit.
Who? Well,
her hit would have been. Well, she wrote "Our Lips Are Sealed," and that was also covered by her boyfriend, who was in the specials at the time, or Fun Boy 3.
Wow,
I can't remember his name.
GD is a fucking encyclopedia of go-goism.
Kind of. Well, actually, I covered that song, "Our Lips Are Sealed," so I had to learn a little bit about it.
Okay.
We covered the Fun Boy 3 version, although I sang the Jane Whelan part. So musically it was like Fun Boy 3, but vocally it was like Jane Whelan.
All right, let Willie talk, or we're going to send David Duke to your house to cover one of your songs.
Right. So the Disturbed show that I went to this weekend, the opening act was this all-girl band called Plush, and bunch of hotties and fucking rockin' ass music. Like, in my opinion, they were like the musical performance of the night. Like that. The vocals were perfection. Like, it was a really, really good band. That Plush band, dude. Sometimes those all-girl bands will really knock your socks off.
Yeah, there were several local, like the Runaways. Joan Jett and the Runaways was a local band.
Yeah.
My wife and I saw Joan Jett years ago at Ribfest.
Somebody called me out yesterday, and I don't even know who it was, because they sent an email, and the email doesn't have a name in it, and they didn't sign it. The email is like, go shine your shoes at like AOL.com, something like that. So it's somebody who knows me personally who said, you're a liar because you said you don't know any Taylor Swift songs. And they called me out, and they're right, because this is somebody who has to know me pretty well. 2009, Mikey made me learn a Taylor Swift song called, I think, "Two Become One." It was like Taylor Swift and Boyz II Men or something. It was like a duo, and we played it one gig. So this person, whoever wrote to me, heard me say that I don't know any Taylor Swift songs, was at a solo, an acoustic duo gig at a place called The Pirate in East Islip, New York in 2009, because that's the only time we ever played that song. And I couldn't tell you how it goes or any of that kind of stuff. But I was thinking about last night, and I'm thinking, what the fuck was up Mikey making me learn that song for? Because here he is, like a middle-aged man, and Taylor Swift was a teenager 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, see? To me, the first time, I wouldn't have known about, the only reason why I knew about Taylor Swift is I was in a grown man's office. And this is when she first came on the scene, a grown man's office, and his screensaver was of Taylor Swift, and she was 9 years old or something. You know, she was prepubescent. I don't even know. She was jailbait, but that was his screensaver. And I looked at him and I said, "Why is there a young girl on your screen?" He says, "Is that your daughter?" He goes, "No, man, that's Taylor Swift." I'm like, white people. God, wow. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Why lump us all together like that?
No.
You know what? This is your month, so I'm gonna let you have that.
I'm just teasing. That's not what I said out loud.
Out loud. The out loud
Yeah, out loud. It is what he said inside over and over again.
That is what I said inside, but that's not what I said out loud because they were a client. You don't insult your clients like that.
The King Charles stuff. You guys got any comments on?
Oh
that?
yeah, he's got cancer. It sounds like
He's being so open about it, but he won't say what kind of cancer he has. How open are they? I think he's got the good kind of cancer that only rich royalty gets. You know, he's got the good kind of cancer.
I thought it was ass cancer.
Yeah, no, that's how they discovered it.
Like, it's probably pancreatic. And that's why he's not saying anything, because he didn't want anybody to know that he definitely fucking died.
Wow, the Whipple thing would be tough on. I'm just trying to. I just got some message about.
Can you imagine that your job depends, you being promoted depends on your parents dying? That's how you get a promotion. Your parents have to die so that you can get a promotion. And it's like,
why do you think so much royalty's been poisoned over the years?
So like Prince. So right now, Prince William is like
trying to move up,
climbing the corporate ladder.
Yeah, Prince William is like, I really like to get a promotion, but do I root for dad or the cancer?
Charles is only 75. I thought he was much older than that because my whole life he was an old man.
If we're gonna get to
I think his ears are 79. His ears were born 2 years before him.
Now,
I'm sorry, Willie. What?
Yeah.
If we're gonna get to 10 times and plug in your show, we should plug it again.
Okay. Thank you. I got this is number 7. Go see GD at some doghouse. Or go into your doghouse and tie up GD and put him on a chain. He's used to that.
That's 3.
Charles
that's 3.
Tonight in someplace in just go to Pennsylvania and walk around until you see a doghouse and look for GD in there.
And just so you guys will know what you're in for, I will be working on new material for my 4th comedy special, Psychomedy 201. Shoulda, coulda, woulda told that joke.
Yeah, let's do a commercial. How about that? You want to do a commercial? You don't really want to do a commercial. This is $119 and or something like that. It's a product you should definitely look into, actually stick into. Not even look into. You should actually stick into.
Yeah, just slide it in.
But whatever you do, do not push the red button. Oh no. Wow. Yeah, so Tracy's dog, go get yourself one of those. It's not called Turbo on the site. It's called like automatic masturbator or something like that. It's the highest price item on the site.
Now, I would like to promote on minddogtv.com. They also sell sex toys. They have this, which is called the Pez Tickler.
It looks like Elvis. Is that Elvis?
It's a Pez Tickler. It's a
turn the face towards the camera.
Sexual enhancement device. It's a sexual enhancement device. It is strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
Turn the face towards the camera. Oh, that's not Elvis. What the hell? It's
Dr. Strange.
Willie's just getting back. He was off using his turbo. He pressed the red button, and now he's a brand new man, as they say.
It works fast when you press that button. Let me tell you.
Now, did you know about this Chris Christopherson burying Toby Keith on stage at the CMAs one year?
What do you mean?
Toby Keith was said to Christopherson, "None of that lefty shit tonight on stage at the CMAs." because Chris Christopherson is known to be a left-wing type of guy. And
and Toby was definitely on the right.
And Christopherson said, "What the fuck did you say to me? Have you ever worn your country's uniform? You might not know this, but Chris Christopherson was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, and a decorated vet." And then he said, and Toby Keith just stood there like scared. And he said, "You heard the question. You just don't want to answer. Have you ever served your country? The answer is no, you have not. Have you ever killed another man? Huh? Have you ever taken another man's life and then cashed a check your country gave you for doing it? No, you have not. So shut the fuck up." Oh, I love Chris Christopherson.
I do too.
I do now.
I've always been a Chris Christopherson fan.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen that. I am sure that did not go out live on the air like that.
Well, it probably did. It's probably in the vault along with the Zsa Zsa Gabor tape. It's in the vault. All those things are in a vault that they're holding, so that it's like the.
By the way, Nelson Mandela will be a guest with us tomorrow. Nelson Mandela on.
It's about time. It's about time.
Yeah. Well, it's past time. It's past time. Now, how did that whole thing start? Do you remember how the Mandela stuff started? The Mandela effect.
I think his mommy and daddy had sex, and when he came out, they named him Mandela. Well, that's where it started.
No, so I think what it is that there's people that thought that he died in prison and was never released and became president. That's kind of the beginning of it. Is that there was a lot of people that believed he had died in prison, and
I think you're right. I thought Oprah had something to do with it, though. In the initial stages of what they called the Mandela effect, I think Oprah was the first one to put out there something about, didn't he die in prison?
Right.
I don't know.
Oprah is a really big part of the machine that shrouds the truth. So I just want to.
Yeah, maybe not anymore, but in the day, she was one of the most influential people ever. One of your favorite, one of Willie's, I don't know, I shouldn't say favorite. Well, a guest that Willie really felt connected to in some way. It just reached out to me. I couldn't handle a guy because he was crying. He was an emotional mess when he was on the show. David Beecher, a comedian from your neck of the woods, by the doghouse in Pennsylvania there.
We don't have comedians that cry over here.
I know. Well, he was a total emotional mess. Do you remember the guy, Willie? You said, I really liked that guy, and I really felt, I got him. I was feeling
the name rings a bell. I'd have to go back and look. But does he want to get on again? Is that what's happening?
He just wrote to me this long thing. I got to read it, but it's acting like it. He acts like we were pen pals or something. Like, long time no talk. Like, no, we never talked, man. Even when you were on the show, we didn't talk. I just sat there and listened with my mouth hanging open. But it's a long letter I'm gonna have to read. I think he's asking to come back on the show again. But it's just strange how I get these things all the time from people who either they've been on the show and don't remember it, and they're applying to be on the show, and they give me this full description of who they are, and I do remember them. And oh, by the way, last night, the Scale of Light guy.
I remember.
He applied to be on the show as if he's never been on the show before. And I wrote back to him. I said, "You were on. It didn't go well. Remember?" If you don't know, GD, Scale of Light is this. It looks like a fax machine or a copy machine that he kind of had sex with or something, or he played with it a little, manipulated it, and basically, if you put your picture in it, wherever you are, it can heal diseases, viral and bacterial diseases, wherever you are on the planet, just by reading your photo.
Okay.
So I sent him a picture.
So why didn't it work?
Well, I sent him a picture of my son who had passed away. He was already dead at the time.
He was doing some Pet Cemetery stuff with the scalar light guy. Is
Yeah.
basically what was happening.
And basically, I got no response. I think Mike Zinn sent him a picture too, and all he did was get marketing material. Like they got it's just like follow ups of marketing material. So he basically was talking about how he could heal anybody. All you do is go and upload your picture, and nobody got any healing. All they got was a marketing scam that came with it. You
well, maybe that's the first step in healing. Maybe that's the first step in healing. It's like a multi-step program.
It's an MLM thing.
Yeah.
My friend John Rulo is going to be the guest this hour. I hope he gets on. He's never really done this before. He's a virgin. He has a song that I'm going to dedicate to you that we're going to play to GD. I'm going to dedicate the song to GD. It's a John Rulo original.
You know, it's great that you're dedicating songs to GD during Black History Month.
It is. Well, by the way, I just want to mention that GD is going to be performing tonight at the Cat House in somewhere in Wilmington, Vermont.
Dickelsport, Vermont.
Yeah. No, it's in Pennsylvania. It's a small state.
If GD visits a cat house, he's probably getting a divorce. That's probably not. That's
it's the dog house, and it's somewhere between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. You just, get out there. Get on the road now.
Somewhere between Philadelphia and... Isn't that like hundreds of miles? I'm pretty sure that's...
I think it's a 9-hour trip from Philly to Pittsburgh by car. So... if you have plenty of time, because it starts at like 8 o'clock tonight, an hour before.
Yes, it starts at 8.
Lord and His Lady.
And then at 9 o'clock, you can tune into a Lord and His Lady.
Right. Do we have any idea what the saga is going to be about tonight? Or are you planning these Lord and Lady thing, Willie? Or do you have a script?
Little bit. So tonight, it depends on. We had planned on kind of featuring more about Danica's history, Danica's personal history this evening. Because especially since people are kind of more familiar with me, so it'd be nice to get to know her more. However, I am getting that tattoo today, and we're going to have a lot of footage from that or whatever. Do you want me to do that for Coffee with the Dog, or do you want me to put some of that on?
It can be repurposed. You can use it for everything. We can use it for Coffee with the Dog. You can use it for Lord and Lady. You can use it on the Black Flag stuff on Friday. All that.
Yeah.
All that and more.
Yeah. Because we got an extra GoPro to shoot more footage and stuff like that also, so we should have plenty.
All right, John Rulo's in the background. I'm not ready for him just yet. We'll give him a couple minutes to get comfortable back there. The poster stuff, I'm not happy with the poster. I'm not ready to approve it yet. So every time I send this back for more revisions, it just pushes the release date back. What do you think about this idea? I thought it was like a genius epiphany idea. The more I think about it, it's just like another stupid idea where I smoke too much weed and think that was a good idea of having people download it, go put it on their supermarket poster boards, bring it to work.
No, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
It couldn't hurt. I mean, that's how I used to promote my shows.
Yeah. See, you guys think it's a good idea. That proves it's because I smoke too much weed, right?
Probably. I used to promote my shows like that whenever I used to print flyers. I used to print flyers up and go out to supermarkets and put them on the thing.
It's so old-fashioned, old school. By the way, I have to minimize it because the poster is like 4 foot 8 inches tall or something. So it's really huge. But so if I do it for people can't print out a 4 foot. So I got to do it for like I don't know, 8 by 11 or something, 8.5 by 11. I don't know.
So what you do is you make it into a quilt and you sell it on Mind Dog TV. And people can buy a quilt.
Well, people buying promotional stuff. They're doing this for a favor for us. But if they do it, but I think because I don't know. I look at that supermarket bulletin board every time I'm after I check out and I'm leaving the supermarket. I always look at it and think, well, why isn't my stupid thing there? Dry cleaners.
No, I put it. When I got to get more business cards made up or whatever, but I used to I put my business cards and stuff like that on.
That's true. I need Mind Dog TV business cards. I have Matt and the Manatee's business cards. I have Rockin' 45's business cards. I don't have Mind Dog TV business cards. Got to get with it. Yeah. Thank you, Willie. Thank you for that.
So do you have like a business card for each separate entity that you're involved with? Like you have like 19 business cards?
No, I only have 2 business cards. One for Matt and the Manatees and one for the Rockin' 45s.
So what about your drug selling business? Or did you don't do that anymore?
I never did that. I was terrible at. Well, I shouldn't say I never did that. When I was like 11 years old to 13 years old.
That's what I was referring to. I do remember the things you say.
But let me just tell you, I never made a profit at it. The thing was, the product was so attractive, and I was always in research and development and testing the product out, that I never really sold enough to make a profit.
Okay, I got you.
It wasn't a legit business. I never really filed with as a DBA or any of that kind of stuff.
And does Matt for Congress have a business card so that people can, get to your website and check out your platform?
I get solicitations every single day from campaign. I don't know if they're money lobbyists, whatever they do. They want to help me promote, but they want to do it for a fee. But
right.
They solicited my. I'm trying to say this is a no money campaign. I got nothing. I'm going out there and meeting people at shopping centers, and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to wait till it gets a little warmer. By the way,
are you kissing hands and shaking babies? Listen, you're never going to win a spot in Congress without shaking a few babies and kissing a few hands. I'm telling you.
Okay, but
it's the other way.
Yeah, it is the other way. They're supposed to have a special election. I think it's probably coming up like this week or next week. I've heard nothing about who even running for that seat right now. I don't think I'm on the ballot.
Yeah, but
now I'm in the ballot in November.
Right. Yeah, it's not.
See, the thing is, there's probably so many people.
Time in between.
Yeah, Matt, there's probably so many people on that ballot that you probably could win with 2% of the vote.
Probably, but I don't even know if I'm on the ballot. I don't know. How do I even find out?
Too soon. You should have gotten on the ballot.
I think Johnny Rullo is in the district. Well, no, he's not. He's too far south to be in the district. We're going to introduce him right now. Now, let me tell you about my friend John Rullo. John is a singer-songwriter from Long Island, New York. Back in the day, about 20 years ago, we were playing the Nautical Mile. The Rockin' 45 were playing the Nautical Mile consistently. And we were doing it so much that we needed sub-drummers quite often because the main drummer just could not commit to all the dates. And then we moved to this place called the River House, where all of a sudden we were not allowed to play as loud as we normally played before. And the drummer got himself sort of banned, and we needed a sub drummer, and I couldn't find anybody. And Mikey, who was administrator at Sands Point Nursing Home or something, he said, my UPS guy says he plays drums. I could not find a drummer, and Mikey's UPS guy said he played drums. And I was desperate, and I said, yeah, well, ask him if he wants to do the gig tonight. And he said, okay. So when I got to the gig, we were all set up, and we're almost ready to play, and the guy's not here yet. I'm like, wow, this is weird. Is he even going to show up? I knew he lived in Freeport near the Mile. Like, wow, it can't be lost. And then he showed up in a car. Now, most of the drummers have a van or a pickup truck or something with all their equipment in it. He showed up in his car with the drums in the back seat, and some of them was still together, like the bass drum and kick pedal was still connected. Like he just. And I saw him bringing this stuff in, and I think, oh, this is going to be one of those nights, right? And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I can be a dick sometime. Were you guys aware that I could be a dick?
No,
that is like the second line in your. That is like the second line in your obituary.
Yeah, well, I thought first line, but okay.
Well, then your name would have to go there first. Your name and when you died, and then.
I made up my mind that this was going to be a rough night, and I was going to be a dick. And he came in, he set up his drums, and basically, in those days, we were starting songs. I would just start a song and expect people to come in. I didn't even tell them what fucking song we were playing. Like, the band knew it, But this is a brand new guy who's never seen the band before, and he's sitting in on drums for the first time. And I decided I'm not even going to tell him what songs we're going to play. I'm just going to start playing them and expect him to jump in on time. And I did that for about, I don't know, 10 songs or so, and he didn't miss a beat. He was fucking perfect on it. I was like, this guy's... And I started to cheer up a little bit. And then he said to me, could you at least tell me what songs? And I was like, it's working. It's working as it's going now. I think we'll just stick with me not telling you. Could you? Anyway, he's a singer-songwriter. He's got some really interesting music. He's a leader of a band called The Cocktails. And you know what? We have some bit of a cult following here on Long Island. He's a very good singer-songwriter. I think he's like a lyrics first guy, which I appreciate. I'm not going to say definitely he's a lyrics first guy.
Is he still drumming?
No, he's a good acoustic guitar player. That's the thing. I think his son was a drummer, and he was borrowing his son's drum kit for that night. But he's played with me since then as a drummer, and he's really good at feel and keeping the beat and understanding music. Good morning, John. How are you, my friend?
Matt. Good to see you.
Now, you just heard my description of the first time we met. Does that sound accurate to you?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'm cracking up because I remember that. I said to Mikey.
First 10 songs.
I said to Mikey, I played drums. And then after I said that, I said, oh, fuck, I haven't played the drums in a long time. And I needed drums. And I remember coming home from work and I'm going, holy shit, I'm going to suck. And I'm sitting there playing the drums and stuff, trying to get some. I'm going, Matt, my son's name is Matt too. I'm going, you got to help me out. Put a set of drums together for me.
And I was a dick, and I probably wear the moniker of being a dick sometimes. But I think you lifted my mood in a big way that night, and all of a sudden I was like, this guy's pretty good. And then we started asking you to come back every time we needed a sub drummer, and then shit happened with the Rockin' 45s, and I got canned, and you ended up being a drummer down the block with the Argon. I don't know, was that your thing at the E.B. Elliott's?
E.B. Elliott's. Well, you know what happened? Mikey wanted to play at E.B. Elliott's, and I said, I know Dan pretty well. I can get you guys in there. And I said, but the condition is I play the drums. And he goes, all right, no problem. So the first night we played there, the place was packed out because I told everybody I knew, and the place was mobbed. The next day, Dan calls me and says, listen, come on in. I want to give you a mess of bookings, right? So then, I don't know who your drummer is. What's his name?
Mike Barone.
Mike, yeah. For a while, Mike was getting a little pissy about it. And I said, all right, let Mike play. So then Mike Dannon asked me if I wanted to run a open mic at E.B. Elliott's. So I needed a guitar player and a bass player. So Argon agreed to do it. And he's nuts. He's a showman. He's fun, you know. And we ran an open mic there for quite a while. And that's how the Cocktails began, because I never played covers.
Wow.
I played covers, in the early 70s. I was in a cover band. We used to do all San Francisco music, Jefferson Airplane, Moby Grape, that kind of shit.
Right.
After that, I just wanted to do my own stuff. And it wasn't until the Cocktails that I started doing covers. And between me and you, I hate it.
Right. Now, this is interesting because, and in a big way, because you were a young man, you were a musician, and then you, and there's nothing wrong with this, by the way, you kind of put your musical ambitions on the back burner while you raised a family and went through the whole life thing. And then as you got older and closer to retirement, you became re-energized about performing. Do I have that pretty much correct?
That's pretty much, yeah.
So now when I put your name in the YouTube algorithm to promote this show, My Father's Place came up. If people don't know, My Father's Place is a venue of original music here on Long Island. It's not the same as it once was. It used to be a place that was a converted bowling alley that housed some of the biggest stars in the 70s that came through there. But how did your name get associated with My Father's Place? Do you have any idea?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had this original band in the I guess it was the mid '70s, and I met this guy in college. He sat behind me and he would whisper Buffalo Springfield lyrics in my head, and I'm going, what's with this guy? So we ended up becoming good friends. He was a guitar player, writer. He was a great lyricist, and we started writing songs together. And the punk movement was just happening, So we said, man, we should do this. And in 2 weeks, we wrote like 40 punk songs, and we tried to come up with the sickest shit you could think of. And we put a band together. I got this friend of mine who was a guitar player to play bass, and we were searching for a drummer. So we put an ad out in The Voice and stuff, and we were getting all these like real crazy ass punk guys, And then finally, this guy walks in. It looks like Charlie Manson, and he's got the Vista Light set of drums, and he's got that jazzy feel. And he goes, I really dig these songs, and he didn't fit with us at all. But we said, okay, you're in. So the four of us rehearsed, I think 6 nights a week to learn all these songs. And we went out looking for places to play. And there was a little bar across the street from My Father's Place called the Little Club. You remember that?
I remember that place, yeah.
So we went there and asked if we could play. And he goes, oh, you got to audition first. It's Wednesday night. It was Wednesday night auditions. So we called everybody we knew, and the people were out the door. And the guy was panicking. He had to get more waitresses in and stuff, bartenders. And he says, when can you guys come back? And following weekend, we played weekend after weekend there. And people just kept coming to see us because we were so bizarre. We were so sick, and they loved it. So Epi was like going, who the heck, what's going on across the street? So one night he comes across the street with Eddie Money. Eddie Money was playing at My Father's Place. So Eddie Money goes walking in, and my sister's at the door collecting $2 a person to get in. So she goes to him, where do you think you're going? He goes, I'm going in. She goes, not without $2. He goes, you know who I am? So she goes, no. She goes, I'm Eddie Money. My sister goes, I don't care who you are. Go in unless you give me $2. So then Epi comes over because, come on, how it goes in.
Wow.
And Epi was like,
Eddie Money did not have the money.
Right.
Eddie No Money.
Yeah. So long story short, Epi
That's
was
great.
digging the band, and he kept coming back to see us. And then one night he says, how would you like to play My Father's Place? And inside I was going, oh, wow, that would be really cool. Then I just, it's too cool. I said, yeah, call me, one of those. But he called me, and we started opening up for, everybody who was coming around at the time. We played with Talking Heads, with the Ramones, with Southside Johnny, with Flo and Eddie, the whole bit. And he ended up signing me to a management contract.
Wow.
And the sucky part was he did one of these, I'm signing you, not your band. He goes, we got to find you better players.
Ooh.
I was in my 20s. I had a family, and little by little, we let everybody go, and I regret it to this day. But yeah, so. Well,
that's something I did want to bring up, because with loyalty is a very weird thing in show business. But we talked about Mikey wanting to play E.B. Elliott, and you said to him, but I got to be the drummer. And Mikey, without batting an eyelash, said, fine, we'll replace Barone. You can have the gig. Mikey never had any loyalty. And this is how I ended up getting out of the Rockin' 45s for about a year and a half, was that I wrote a song about it called You Stab My Back, I'll Stab Yours, about Mikey's attitude towards, like, my friends and the band don't matter to me. I have no loyalty. That part had to be a really tough thing. I want you, but I don't want the band. It's a tough thing to deal with. Right?
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to tell you, John, I just want to say, when I was in my 20s, I played in a band, and this manager, the guy who managed a lot of the more popular bands in Maryland, saw our band, and he said to me, I want you, but not the rest of your band.
Right.
The fax machine.
Oh no, that's my daughter. Hold on, that's my daughter.
Oh.
What's up?
Hold on, I'll put you on mute. Go ahead, take your call. That's funny. You know,
so
Robert
says, I want you, but not the band. And I wouldn't let him manage me. I wouldn't go anywhere without my band. I stuck with my band, even though he could have made or break me. I'm sorry. Go with my band.
Go back. I'm back. I hung up on my daughter. Go back.
Whoa. I'm not going to have your daughter hating me. Jim.
No, it's okay.
No. What's her number? Tell me her number. I'll call her and apologize. What is it?
No, don't worry. It's all right.
Willie, keep track. Where am I now? Is this 504? By the way, if you're somewhere in Pennsylvania tonight, go to the doghouse and see GD Fenderson. All right, still have 5 more to go to get out of race jail.
GD, you were saying that the guy wanted you, not your band.
Right, he wanted me, but not the band, and he wanted to. And to be honest, I told him I don't do anything without the band, but he managed the most popular bands in Maryland at the time, and I think that if I had gone with him, I probably could have moved on, but I was not the most talented member of my band. My band had the talent. I was just a good songwriter. They had the skills, so I don't know if I don't know.
Willie, I got to ask you, does this ring true with you? Can you imagine anybody saying, I want GD and I don't want the other guys? I think Willie's on delay.
Well, he's shocked that you asked him that. How dare you?
All right. Go ahead. You want to answer that?
Now, John, I did want to ask you, Matt said you're a lyric first songwriter, so you write out the lyrics before you get the music down. Is that correct? Usually?
I would say most times, but sometimes I could just be, doodling with the guitar and a cool melody will hit me, and then I'll just have to come up with some lyrics for that.
Sure.
But, I would say it's 75%, 25%.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're writing a song, let's say you're sitting there, you're fiddling around with it, you're writing a song, you got the lyrics, you have everything, and then Matt walks in and he says, I have a couple of suggestions for this song. How much of a contribution does Matt have to give to that song before you give him partial credit as to writing that song?
Oh, I've given credit to people for just giving me a title, because at this point in my life, I do it for fun. I'm not looking to. It's not about money, because there isn't any. So
right. By the way, I have your YouTube channel going across the bottom there. If people are interested in your original music, they can go there and find out about it. And it's in the description as well as his Facebook page. Cocktails are playing at Sonny's Canal House on March 8th, Friday, March 8th, when Sam Talent will be in town. I have a conflict of interest there on that night. So, but yeah, this idea of song credit is interesting because I'm sure you're aware of the band Levon Helm and Robbie Robertson having this big.
Right.
Both of them are dead now, so we can talk about it. Because I had a relationship with a guy who was a friend. We'd get stoned, drunk, whatever, and he would just tell me stories, and it would end up being a song. But I would write the song. He didn't write any of the song. I think that's the way the Levon Helm, Robbie Robertson deal went. Levon felt like he should get credit because Robbie Robertson built a story out of something Levon told him about, but that's not the same as being a songwriter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you read a book and you write
you had that idea without hearing that story.
Give the author of the book the credit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Willie makes a good point. The song would not have come about without hearing the story.
Yeah.
I want to play one of your songs now, and I'm gonna we'll take a short break while we listen to the song. I want to dedicate.
You're dedicating to me?
Yes, dedicate to GD. It's called "When You Were Funny." And if you want to tell us about the inspiration or what the song means to you.
I don't know. One night we were sitting around talking, and I think my wife said to me, that's when he was funny. And I said, hey, great title for a song, When You Were Funny. And it's really strange because I wrote the song, the lyrics just flowed. And after it was all done, I said, holy shit, you know who that's about? Subconsciously, I wrote it about somebody that's, close to me in my life,
Wow.
And there's another song in there. I think you might, there's a song, Forever, that the lyrics came to me from a guy in a dream. So I wonder if I should give that guy credit. I was having a dream, and I was sitting at a table talking to some old guy with a long beard and black jacket. And he leaned over and he said, I have great lyric for you for a song. And he gives me these 2 lines. And I woke up out of my sleep, grabbed my phone, jotted them down. And the next morning, wrote the song.
Oh wow! I want to come back to that after we listen to the song and talk about that idea, because I think there's some profound stuff in dreams, and I have coincidentally for this day and what it means to me, a song the entire song came to me in a dream. We'll talk about that, but right now I want to play When You Were Funny, and we'll be back in just a moment.
When you were funny, it was anything for a laugh. Never gave much thought to money. What we had, we'd give away half. You once had a sense of humor, no lines you wouldn't cross. Just another hopeful baby boomer. Spoke your mind at any cost. Well, everything is timing, and we were right on time. You always had a comeback, I always had a rhyme. And everything is timing. Maybe now is not our time, 'cause as the world kept turning, we lost our place in line. Do you remember ever having to worry, always feeling you were in on the joke? But when the view started getting blurry, I knew our dreams were going up in smoke. Do you remember when each new tomorrow always seemed so far away? Too proud to beg, but never to borrow, because I knew we'd pay it back someday. Well, everything is timing, and we were right on time. Some say the world is random, some say it's by design. Well, everything is timing, and though we surely had our time, I'd go back in a heartbeat just to see you in your prime. Can you remember when you were daring, ignoring any ridicule, when your heart was always caring? You were reckless but not a fool. Do you remember when you were funny? You knew just how to win a friend. Can't recall what you said that won me. Can't recollect why it had to end. Oh, everything is timing, and we were right on time. You always had come back. And I always had a rhyme. Everything is timing. Maybe now is not our time. 'Cause as the world kept turning, we lost our place in line. Do you remember when you were funny? It was anything for a laugh.
And dig that song. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. It's one of those ones that first time you hear it, you kind of just listening to it, taking it in. But if you listen to it 2 or 3 times, it becomes like you got to hear it again. You got to hear it again. Great song. I'm curious about some of those photos. Are those your photos?
No, most of those photos are Google things. You know, when I write something. And I write a song, and I'm constantly writing songs. I wrote 5 songs last week. So what I do is I go down into my basement, I record them on a GarageBand, and you know, I like to share them with people. So I'll just put images and put lyrics, because I think it's better to read the lyrics as you're listening to the song, so people are getting it. You know, it's not just background music.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I have this other project I do called Johnny Rules. I don't know if you've seen
that.
Right,
yeah.
I met this guy when I used to work, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, listen to this cassette." And he goes, "This is Ray." And this guy, Ray, is like a phenomenal guitar player. I'm going, holy shit, what's this guy doing working this job? You know, he could play like that. But Ray's a great guy, lives by himself, no kids, no wife, has a room with about 150 guitars around his walls, amps, rehearsal studio. Anyway, he's got a studio in his house. And he says, "Johnny, come on over with one of your songs." And since then, we've done, we're working on our 6th album of all my stuff. And he provides the lead playing. We have an arsenal of guys that come down and play with us. So it's great. I get to do my music with a full band.
Very cool.
Without spending any money.
Now, when you go to Ray's house, do you ever smell like flesh rotting? It sounds like he might be a serial killer. He lives all alone with all these guitars.
No.
He's got a question.
Yeah.
So, because I really wanted to ask you, because I don't play any instruments. My only instrument is my voice, and I've been I'm very much fancy myself a lyricist, and like it generally comes with like a melody, or I know how it goes, and I could sing it to people. How hard is that process of singing a song a cappella to like bandmates or whatever, and having them write around you? Or is that not? I mean, do you?
I mean, I always play. I always have a guitar. I always have a guitar, and I'll play it to them with the guitar. You know.
Right.
I would say, having done that, it really depends on how close to actual pitch you are. I worked with a singer, Casey, who was somewhere in. He had good relative pitch, but he was never in a given key, and that was always very difficult. But if you watch The Greatest Night in Pop, Lionel Richie talks about Michael Jackson didn't play anything, so he had cassettes and cassettes of him just humming. So he would go to Quincy Jones with, "Here's a cassette of a song I wrote." It would just be him humming something, no words, nothing, just humming the melody. But Michael had perfect pitch, and so that was easy to just go to a piano and say, "Okay, here's where he is." Mm-hmm. If a guy is in between G and A somewhere.
I had a guy come to me. He was getting married, and he wrote his own vows that he wanted to set the music, and he wanted me to write the music to it. And so he sang it on cassette, which at the time I didn't think much of it. I said, okay, I'd never written a song for somebody else like that, and that was what I discovered. He sang it for me, and then sometimes he was like between notes, between pitches, between keys. And I was like, holy crap, what am I supposed to do with this?
Now, will you be performing that at the Doghouse tonight and somewhere in Pennsylvania between at 8:00 p.m. Eastern time?
No, tonight will be strictly stand-up material. Next week I'll be bringing in song parodies, and then the week after that it will be again just straight stand-up, and then the week after that I'll be bringing in song parodies.
So that's at the Doghouse somewhere in Pennsylvania, right? Does that count
That's
as
at
two?
the Doghouse somewhere.
That counts as two, right? All right. How many more do I have to get at?
I'm counting that as.
All right. So how many more do I have to go to get at a ratio?
Three more.
Okay, we have time for three more.
John, just to bring you in on this, Matt's a big fat racist, and he's trying to break up for it by reparations.
Apparently, see, we have a conflict of interest tonight. Willie has a show called The Lord and His Lady on this network at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and GD has a gig. And I was promoting Willie more because it's only his second show.
It's
and
not that you're promoting Willie more. Let's be accurate. I was doing a bit where I was promoting both shows, and he stepped on my promotion for my portion and let the Willie's portion go uninterrupted.
Because
that's what started this.
Because I'm an evil racist.
You're a racist. Yes.
There you go.
And it's February. I didn't even know that you could be. I didn't even know it was legal to be a racist in February. I thought you had to hold that.
Well, I got my months confused. I know this is Black History Month.
He should be
March is
drawn out
white
in cuffs
supremacy.
like the Pawn Star.
Yeah. Anyway,
so John, you've known Matt for a while. How did you put up with his racism? And did you know that he was a racist? How did you tolerate it?
It's all an act. It's all an act.
It's all an act.
What, your friendship? What's the act? Your friendship and tolerating it? Or
he only puts it on for you, GD.
That's a good point. Now, John has. Here's the thing. John is very. I don't know if I would say politically opinionated, but he has friends who are politically opinionated, and they used to think that I was an extreme right winger. Now I'm getting accused by some people of being an extreme left winger, and it's only a matter of one president away. Or two presidents away now, where perceptions of your political leanings can change based on who.
I'm just a fully informed American.
Right.
A Trump supporter.
Oh, what?
So John, what's your when you played drums? When you played drums, did you ever fall off the riser as a drummer?
No.
He doesn't get on a riser. He's a ground level guy.
I'm a ground floor drummer.
He's like John Bonham, a ground level guy. Yeah. So coming back to this idea about writing in dreams, because there was a song, and I'm not going to bring people down by telling this whole story. A song that came to me complete in its entirety in a dream, and that day I was compelled to kind of write it out and do a little demo of it, but I was like certain. I had to be robbing this I had to be too much influence from somebody else. Like I was stealing the song. I called everybody I know, like, listen to this. Whose song is it? I never heard that before. So it came to me that I guess it's an original. Was that incident that you talked about with the old guy coming to you with Forever, was that a unique experience for you? And did you have that inclination that, is this really my song, or am I stealing this from somebody?
No, I had the experience before. I had a dream one night where I always have these horrible dreams that I'm still working, and I had this dream that I was walking around an industrial park, and I started singing this song, and all the people around were singing it with me, and I woke up and I said, "Holy shit." And I wrote it down. It's weird. I kind of even remembered some of the melody when I woke up the next morning. And I guess it's an original song.
Right. Yeah. So do you think about possibly, like, is this just like too much influence? Like, am I borrowing this from somebody else?
That bothers me. Sometimes, like, I'm my own worst critic. If I hate when it comes. If you can't help it, I mean, there's a billion songs out there, But sometimes if I hear something, it even sounds like one of my old songs, I get pissed off. I go, no.
Well, I get stuck in ruts where every song I write for a given period of time seems to. Is this just another rehashing of the same song I just wrote like a month ago? That kind of stuff. Do you get in those kind of? Do you have writer's block at all? Or do you just wait for it to come?
I'm telling you, it just keeps coming. It's
really,
yeah. I write novels too. I was writing books for a while.
I remember.
And I was like putting them out one after the other, and then I started writing my 6th novel, and I just hit a wall.
I remember you and I got into an argument about bumblebees. It was I think you posted an excerpt from a book, or maybe it was just a poem you wrote about watching the bumblebees. And I was like, those are not bumblebees, those are carpenter bees. You're talking about how big fat they were. I was like, bumblebees are not big and fat, those are carpenter bees. We find reasons to argue about anything.
Listen, you live and learn, right?
Yeah, right.
We were talking about about not knowing where the source of your music comes from in some regards. When I used to play in the band, I'd written this really great instrumental piece, and they were like going, "Wow, this is neat. This is really, really good." And my bass player had perfect pitch. He was classically trained. My keyboard player was also classically trained. And so I'm bringing this to them, I wrote out all of the parts, so everybody would know. They're like, this is what we're doing. This is it. And they're going, this is really good. This is really nice. It's a really nice jazz piece. And they said, where'd you get it from? I said, I don't know. It just came to me. And then it turns out I was working in a department store. And my song that I'd written was based on 4 Muzak songs that I had stuck in my head over and over again. And the only thing I do is I regurgitated like 4 different parts of 4 different Muzak songs and interwove them into one piece.
Robert Klein.
Once I realized what happened, I was like, I can't do this anymore. We're done. So what happened to the song? What happened to Hercules Battery? I said, I stole it. I didn't know I stole it, but I stole it. I can't do that song anymore.
Well, and not stole, but unduly influenced by it. Let's just put it that way, or over influenced by it. Like
at 21, I didn't know the law. Right. I thought I stole it.
Yeah, but Klein. I remember when I was a young man. I was in a rock band and writing rock songs, and then I watched Robert Klein's Child of the 50s, Man of the 80s, and was really influenced by The Bronx is Beautiful this time of year. And then I started writing all these friggin' show tunes, and people were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, influence can be that way. It can be like really it's subtle. You don't feel it coming on. And then all of a sudden, I'm a guy writing show tunes.
Now, did you ever? Speaking of Robert Klein, didn't he have a bit called "I Can't Stop My Leg"?
Show tune.
I Can't Stop My Leg. I think so.
Yeah, he did it on the program with me.
Yeah. When I saw that like moved me to that hit me on like another level, and that's what I was like. I love that, and I just started doing it because the friends I had at school weren't staying up watching Robert Klein.
Right.
So I was doing his routine for other people. I said, "This is what I saw last night," and I ripped off his routine. Didn't rip it, but I was doing like a replay. Or on demand of that Robert Klein. I can't stop my leg.
I can't stop my leg. It's like one of his signature bits. I want to get this conversation back on John and his music, but just on that note.
No, this is going just fine talking about me.
No, we're talking about Robert Klein, not you. When Robert Klein was on the program, first of all, he got a call from his son, and he got a call from his son, and he said, "Oh, Al, wait a minute, I'm on a pod. What is it? What is this called? A podcast?" And he had a conversation with his son while I'm sitting there listening to it. I didn't know to mute him or nothing. But when he got off the phone call, I was talking about a podcast that I had seen him on where he was talking about his past. And I was in the chat room and I said, can he stop his leg? And he saw that and he picked up his harmonica that happened to be right there and he started doing I Can't Stop My Leg. And I told him that story and he said, "Oh, wait a minute." And then he gets up out of his chair and runs to another room and comes back with his harmonica to do I Can't Stop My Leg for me on the program with me.
That's a classic. I love that bit.
So, John, now, in some of your writing, now, like When You Were Funny is not that, but there is I think you have an inclination to write about socially relevant things and political leanings in some cases, right? Would you consider yourself a that kind of writer, like a I don't know, activist, or?
Well, I think 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 2015, 16, the band is the Cocktails, right? And we were rehearsing one night, and I said, and we were talking about how come they're not making music about. They're not making music like they protest music like they did back in the 60s and stuff. And just kidding around, I said, yeah, we should start a band and call ourselves the Molotov Cocktails and do all political music. So I went to work. I wrote a shitload of songs, all political songs.
Oh my God.
I did a GoFundMe.
Great.
A GoFundMe thing. I raised $5,000 and I did the Molotov Cocktails Wake Up Call.
Wow.
Which is I think it's a great album. That's what I have. My son was playing drums on that one.
My CD is called Volatile Cocktail.
Nice.
Oh, volatile.
Now let's talk about this for a second, because the 60s, early 70s, that were full of this idea that you can really change people's minds, change people's attitudes with music, and be somewhat of a catalyst towards positive change. Is that still alive in you? Because to me, I'm deadened by a lot of pessimism. I think everybody who watches this program, listens to us, knows what a pessimist I could be. I feel like I've lost any hope that the artists can influence society in a significant way. Do you?
Yeah, I kind of agree to a point. But part of the problem is back in the day, you could listen to AM, FM radio and hear songs which, had good messages, They don't allow that anymore.
Right.
They squash that stuff. So you got to really search for it if you want to hear.
Here's the thing. I think they've gone completely the other way. Like, you try that in a small town, got a big boost by FM radio, but that was basically not necessarily about change. It was about going back in time, back.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the political leanings.
So it got grandfathered in then. It got grandfathered in because it's not about change. It's about something that already existed.
Yeah. I think the political leanings have affected the way music with a message is approached. They're fine if it's a very conservative right wing type or patriot. Toby Keith's what was that, Bullet in Your American Soldier? Was that the name of it? That was well received.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't get into my political rant.
You can. You're definitely free to. I mean, I brought up Chris Christopherson's snapback at Toby Keith on the CMAs a few years ago. I wasn't aware of it, but Christopherson, I'm a huge Christopherson fan. He was known as a left-wing kind of activist through all the stuff that he didn't like. And, I think you have to, as an artist, you have to be true to yourself, and you can't hide that kind of stuff. We're in a point where people want to say, oh, you're just an actor, you're just an entertainer, shut the fuck up. But you are a human being, you are a citizen, you have a right to express your views about the society that we live in. And if you're an artist, some might say you have a responsibility to try to highlight the issues that are important to you. You agree with that?
I think that's definitely true.
Yeah. I wrote a song last week that I haven't put out on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that because the feds would probably be at my door. I'll send it to you privately later.
Wow. Yeah, well, the Fed might be at my door because I was yelling at RFK Jr. Last night about his thing about talking about he needs Secret Service protection, and I was like, well, how'd that work out for your father or your uncle?
Right, I heard you say that earlier.
You know, but so I was kind of expecting the Secret Service to show up at my door with some questions about that. Like,
yeah, listen, I mean, like you were saying before, the Secret Service, they're so secret that they're not looking.
Right.
When they tell them not to look.
Right. So now, when you're playing with the cocktails, you got this thing at Sonny's on Friday, March 8th. Sonny's is a very cool place.
Have you seen it lately?
No, I had. Last time, I think I might have been there with you once. I don't know. I think it's been at least 10 years since I played there.
Oh,
and it was indoors, small stage indoors, right?
Totally renovated the place. It looks nothing like it used to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you get to play on the outside in the summer there, like on the dock or anything?
No, they got to keep it inside because the people in the surrounding areas don't like the noise.
That kind of sucks. What about the other place?
Nautical Mile?
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about the Nautical Mile too, but there's a place in Amityville, Tommy's or Toomey's.
Toomey's.
Yes. Now that's outdoors on the water, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a fun place the last time I played there, but it was it was spring. I played there with Kiera. We did an acoustic thing. It was spring, but not quite warm enough to be out on the dock. But that seemed like a really fun place to play.
Did you play in that used to play on the dock before the pandemic?
Yeah.
They closed that all up, and the bands play like in the boatyard underneath the boats. It's horrible.
That's terrible. Yeah,
I don't want to go back there ever again.
Right. Now,
so what's the biggest John? What's the biggest mishap you've had during a live performance?
The biggest mishap?
I asked you first.
Oh, this is a great one. Back in the day, we were opening for Talking Heads, and we didn't have guitar tuners and extra equipment. We just came in with our instruments, and that was it. So we're playing, and my buddy Richie breaks a guitar string, and he goes, "Now what do I do?" So I'm standing there like going, "Oh shit!"
Were you playing? He lost it, or
while we were playing? We
were
in front of a madhouse of Talking Heads fans who didn't want to hear us. He breaks a string, and he's looking at me. I go, "Well," he runs off the stage, leaves us there. The four of us together were nothing to listen to. Three of us. He runs downstairs, and David Byrne's sitting on his stool playing his guitar. And he goes, "I broke a string. Can I use your guitar?" David says, "Sure." And he gives him the guitar. Comes up, plugs it in, starts playing. He's in a different tuning. Wow. What are you doing?
Yeah, we have to say goodbye to Governor's Comedy Club right now. Govs, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And tonight, not tonight, it's actually this weekend, Friday, Joe Matarisi